last message, we explored the Tower of Babel, how humanity's unity was fractured through language, and how that act of division was not divine punishment but a calculated move to suppress collective power. But that blueprint didn't start at the tower. It began in a garden, with a tree, with a question, and with a being we were told to fear. The story of Adam and Eve is one of the most widely accepted origin myths in the world. We're told they disobeyed God, listened to a serpent, and were punished with exile from paradise. This story has been used for centuries to justify shame, control, hierarchy, and the myth of original sin. But if we slow down, if we look beyond the conditioning, something else begins to emerge, something older, something truer. The serpent didn't threaten humanity, it awakened it. It didn't bring death, it brought awareness, and for that, it was demonized. Across ancient cultures before this story was weaponized, the serpent was a symbol of wisdom. In Egypt, it was divine energy rising. In India, Kundalini, the coiled serpent of inner awakening. In medicine, it still represents healing. So why, in this one story, did the serpent become the deceiver? Because it invited sovereignty. It asked Eve to question the rules, to see beyond obedience, to taste from the tree of knowledge, not of pleasure, not of rebellion, but of good and evil, of discernment, of moral intelligence. And what was the punishment for that awareness? Exile, shame, pain, separation. But let's ask something honest now. If God is all-knowing, why ask, Adam, where are you? Why would the source of all need to look for anything? That question is not divine omniscience, that's limitation. And maybe, just maybe, the being in that garden wasn't the creator of the universe, but a different kind of God. In the original Hebrew, the word for God used in Genesis is Elohim, a plural word, not singular. It translates more accurately as gods or divine beings, not a singular source but a council, a class of advanced intelligences, creators perhaps, but not the creator. And that changes everything, because then the garden wasn't about sin, it was about interference. The serpent didn't oppose the true God. It opposed the system that feared awakening. And that's where Yeshua comes in. Because centuries later, another being would walk the earth bringing a message that mirrored the serpent's. The kingdom of God is within you. He didn't preach fear. He didn't demand blind obedience. He invited awareness. He challenged systems. He healed through energy. He taught in frequency. And perhaps most importantly, he said, be as wise as serpents, not beware the serpent, but be as wise. Why would he say that? Unless the serpent wasn't the enemy we were taught it was. Yeshua's life was not about reinforcing Eden's punishment. It was about undoing it. He wasn't here to appease an angry God. He came to correct the story, to restore what was lost in the garden, our memory, our sovereignty, our ability to walk with the divine within us, not above us. He wasn't crucified for sin, he was crucified for truth, because truth disrupts control. Just like the serpent did, Eden wasn't a fall, it was a fracture, a moment when knowledge was punished, when obedience was prioritized over awareness, and when divinity was moved outside the self. And we've been trying to find our way back ever since. If this message is resonating with what you've always felt, click like and subscribe. Not for content, but for connection. You're not crazy for questioning the story. You're remembering the truth beneath it. So now pause, breathe, let the mind quiet, and ask yourself, was the serpent really evil? Or was it simply unafraid of truth? Was Yeshua correcting your sin, or reminding you that you were never separate to begin with? Because those who seek to control will always punish awareness, always vilify wisdom, always cast out what cannot be tamed. But truth rises anyway.